Okay, welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
And I'm Stacey Earlywine. And you know, I never get tired of that theme song.
I love our theme song. Oh, it's so cute. It's such a throwback.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, I love the big band music.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Nothing like that big band. So how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Good.
Really, really well. Anxious,
Yeah.
really excited about today's show.
Oh my gosh, me too. We're going to have a fun show.
I don't even know if we should we give them a little taste?
Sure.
Killer women. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
How fun. I mean,
I know.
I keep saying
It's sad. It's sad and it's tragic, but it's also so interesting because you just don't think about like such tragic and like crazy things happening basically in our own backyard in Clay County. Like,
it's crazy.
A little bit of scandal.
Lots of scandal, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, it's so exciting. So we're going to focus on a couple ladies and a gentleman today. So we have a lot to talk about. So let's just jump right in to the old Better Homes and Garden.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
What do we got
there
today?
she is. There she is.
A little bit of a glare. There we
Better
go.
Home.
Yeah, Better Homes and
Better
Gardens.
Homes and Gardens.
1954?
1954.
Okay.
All right. This commercial cracks me up. It is awesome. Look at her.
Oh, she's happy. She's happy about her towels.
Canon, Carefree, Colors, page 35. Let's just read a little about this.
They got the alliteration going.
I mean, you know, maybe the reason why we have killer women in the world is because we all want to strive for that right there.
Yeah, no.
I love it because she's like, ta-da! Look at my super cool towels. Here is the... Give your bathroom the new light look with these new, light-hearted, Canon Carefree colors. The freshest, airiest, brightest looks ever is the new look in bathrooms these days. Thanks to the wonderful new world of towel colors brought to you by Canon. Choose from 18, yes, 18 in all the lightest, brightest towel colors yet.
Wow, I have so many questions.
Okay, let's have questions.
All right, so before this time, were the towels only white? I mean, do they not have colored towels before 1954?
I don't know. It makes you wonder.
Is this it's a new thing? The towels, bath towels are in colors.
Yeah, new, light look. Yes. A bright new bathroom with every quick change.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'd be that happy too if I had only had white towels all my life and then someone gave me colored towels.
It could go even worse. It could be just a gunny sack you were drying off with. Who knows?
That's true.
You know that? Okay, real talk. Okay, so this is 1954, right? Yeah, see, and then look at the super cool stripes down at the bottom.
But I'm in love with that pink and green. Like, could you say 1950s any louder?
You could not.
I mean, I'm sure that they probably had a pink toilet to match.
Oh my gosh! When we bought our house, I think my home was built in 1930 something, and Jim and I bought it, and it had that super cool pink tile.
Yeah, you got rid of it?
Of course I did, because I didn't have any taste. But I'd kill for those pink tiles.
Oh, well, I bet Jim can make it happen again.
And our bathroom upstairs was turquoise with the turquoise.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you should bring that all back.
It is funny because the upstairs bedroom was a turquoise color. And, of course, then I don't know what I painted it over the years. I don't know. I'm a crazy painter. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those people that I just love to paint. And I love to watch Jim paint. I guess I should say that too.
Right.
And, yeah, so it's funny because like the house, we bought our house, when did I get? 1990. Okay. So in the 90s, everything was white, off-white, white carpet, white walls, everything. And so first thing I did was paint everything, and we painted the upstairs white, of course, and that turquoise color. But now it's back. Literally, my upstairs bedroom is like the original turquoise color that I painted over.
Oh, fun.
It's turquoise and gray now, but my bedroom's been...
What goes around comes back.
Absolutely
it does.
Goes out, and I think
back.
that retro 1950s is all starting to make its way back.
It is. You can even buy appliances now that are like the colored appliances, like a turquoise refrigerator or an oven. I mean, they're super expensive and they're really hard to find. I'm sure you can't find one in Clay County.
Well, I was just excited to go to Hobby Lobby one day and buy a pink toaster and put in my camper.
Oh, fun.
I never make breakfast. I'm the camper that doesn't get out of bed. It's like, oh, cook breakfast over the campfire. No, that's lunch and dinner, but I'm like sleeping till 9 or 9:30. But Jim gets up and makes toast in his pink toaster.
Oh, I bet he loves that.
I'm sure he does. Oh. I'm sure he does, but how fun.
He's a good sport.
How fun is that? That is awesome.
Yeah. So, okay.
So, Better Homes and Garden, there is nothing better.
No.
Nothing better. And we will always open, by the way, with our Better Homes and Gardens.
It is just chock full of fun stuff from the past, because that's really what our show is about. So if you're just joining us, by the way, we always do fun things from the past. Yep. We talk about items from the past. We talk about people from the past. We talk a lot about the history of Clay County. I don't know. We love nostalgic things.
We do. We're both very nostalgic.
We are. Yes.
We love nostalgia.
Yes.
We love Nostalgia Theater of Flora.
Yes. Yeah. We can talk about that for a minute. Yeah. So the town theater that's downtown, and we're both involved with that. Stacy and Jim had that project up, and we have changed it into Nostalgia Theater. And Jim, with the help of a lot of other people, has completely remodeled that building.
We are in the process.
Fantastic. We are in the process. We're waiting on some grant money, and we're getting by on donations.
We are.
But we
God
really
bless
need to.
You.
Yes,
God
thank you
bless
for those that have donated.
Oh my.
We need to replace the roof. That's our next big thing.
It's a big one, yeah. What was it? A couple year ago it was $65,000, so who knows what it is going to be now. And that's with the gentleman giving us a break because we are a 501c3 non-for-profit. The goal of Nostalgia Theater is to make it into a venue setting, and we want to do our plays, children's plays,
live performances.
So, and the goal is after the building is refurbished, the goal is to give the money back out into the community.
Yep.
So we are a non-for-profit. There is nobody on the payroll. Everything is volunteer.
Yep.
And we want to give back. My heart is in scholarships for kids going into the arts.
Yes.
Whether it be music or dance or art, drawing, that type of thing.
There's a lot of scholarships out there for the kids that are the straight A students with the 4.0s, and
the athletes.
And there's scholarships for the athletes. But there's a lot of kids that fall through the cracks.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, so we want to give a shout out to the band nerds. So there we go. But
the drama kids.
Yeah, it's our children.
Yeah.
And it's Clay County wide. And then a project that's close to Jim and I's heart is Meals on Wheels. We love the Golden Circle. And I know sometimes in the state, it's state funded, but a lot of times, like when we want to start cutting areas, that's where the state would like to start cutting is that, and I just completely disagree with that, but this is not a political show, so I'm going to move away, but we love Golden Circle, so we would like to help them, and the animals, we have an animal shelter, we have Fur Good Paws, and
there's a lot of good things in our community.
There's a lot of good things that we can do.
Any extra money that we get in through Nostalgia, that'll be just put right back out into other 501c3s.
Absolutely, so when you help support Nostalgia Theater, you are literally supporting your community.
That's right.
All right, well, that was a nice little plug for us, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so today's show, seriously.
Oh my gosh, you guys. There's been some crazy people that have lived here in the past,
Absolutely.
And we got some really big stories for you.
I do.
I just wonder, though, like, a lot of, they didn't treat mental illness really back then. They just kind of put you away. Makes you wonder, if there was actually mental health treatment back then, if maybe a lot of this could have been averted. And by talking about it, we're not making fun of it or bringing any disrespect to any surviving family members. But it is true crime. And it did happen right here in our own area. And we feel like it is an interesting part of our history.
It absolutely
and history is not always pretty.
No, it's not. And I would say in the two cases of the two ladies we're going to, I would say one was just pure evil. I would say, and then I'd say the other one, because she did have a lot of. She was insane. She heard voices. She really was insane. But I think I think we're dealing with two. One probably could have gotten help, and one
maybe
was
not.
Absolutely
evil,
just pure evil.
Yeah. I agree with that. So
that was exciting. So do
Yeah.
we want to, we got a little bit of time before we go.
We got just a few minutes. So before we just delve into the whole story, we'll just tell them we're going to talk today about Elsie Bible first. Elsie, she's been featured on A&E?
Oh yeah,
her
Women Who
stories,
Kill.
Yeah, Women Who Kill. She was a serial killer from right here in Clay County. And
She was
we're
Flora, Illinois.
We're going to delve into her story. And
then we're going to delve into Amy Campbell, who was born in Xenia.
Yes.
And she was married several times, and she killed a spouse. And so, yeah, we're going to get into those, and it's going to be interesting.
It is, yes, because
neither one are buried here. They're both buried. They were both
Right.
buried, and we'll touch on that in the show. But.
Yeah, but you think today that you look around at the news and you see about shootings and different things that happen, and you're like, man, the world is so evil today. There's so much evil, and it is. There's a lot, and you think about back in the day how. I don't know. Everyone just kind of paints it rosy, just like those ads. Everyone was so happy, and the housewives looked so perfect, and everything was just wonderful. But no, there's been evil ever since the beginning,
Since Cain and Abel.
Yes, and
Yep.
there was evil here in Clay County even hundreds of years ago. There were murders and. Some terrible assaults and bank robberies and
we're going
our
to touch on all of it.
Yeah, our county has kind of seen all of it.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty interesting.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to future shows too when we focus on people. Well, we'd like to focus on businesses of the past and homes. Beth and I love old homes and people, residents that's been in our midst. So we want to touch on all those. So today, I think these are like where we're just focusing on the people today, not a business or not a street name.
Yeah, every once in a while we're going to throw in an episode that's just scandalous. That's just like some
Speaking of the
scary stuff.
The ladies, it's like, do you ever think that like those ladies from the 50s when they're in their perfect dress and their pumps and that they ever just rip them pearls off and throw them up again, kick them pumps through the window?
I don't know. I sure would have. I have a temper.
Yeah, they're just
So,
I got on a kick where I was watching a lot of Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, I love Leave It
I
to
did.
Beaver.
I know, and it was just from the beginning.
Tony Dow, he died this past year.
Did he?
Played Wally, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
so
Let's take
that
a
was
commercial
fun.
break, though, and then we'll get back
Oh,
and
okay.
go right into
Okay.
it. So we'll be right back.
Right, thank you.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
Okay, welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
And I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we are glad to be here today.
That's right. So today we're talking about some serial killers and some crazy women that lived in Clay County in the past.
Yes.
So we're going to start off with Elsie Bible. So
Yes.
Elsie,
She has to be she is by far the most famous.
She is. She's been featured on
She's
A&E
like our
and
Lizzie
it's-
Borden.
Yes.
She really is.
And, her name actually, I think, was Essie.
Essie.
She kind of went by both Essie and Elsie. Different.
Yeah, it was. There was even an Essie, wasn't even. It was like some sort of. It was a full name.
Oh, was it?
I think
Okay.
so. I can't
Well,
remember.
everything
but
I've read
Essie.
either calls her Essie or Elsie.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Elsie, she was married 3 times.
Yes, she was. And
1900s.
yes, so she was originally from northern Wayne County, and then she moved here, and her first husband's name was William Cope. She had children with him.
She had one son. I saw.
Okay, I thought she had more than one with him, and then maybe one son later. No,
I don't know.
Just one.
No, I think she had one son. Unless I'm getting her
Okay.
confused with because I think
Okay.
I think each one of these ladies only had one son, but I could be
okay.
wrong. You might.
Okay.
You probably know more.
Okay. What I read said that they had some children together.
Oh, okay.
Him and her, but I don't know. They got divorced and I read 2 accounts of this. One is that she attempted to poison him, and he caught on, and he divorced her.
Yeah, he divorced. He escaped.
Yes. The other account said that he basically she just left him and went and lived with her husband number 2, whose name was Havel Bible.
Yes.
And then because she was living with Havel, he divorced her. William Cope did. Okay. So, but somehow in this time period, she wanted to marry Havel Bible, but he was already married.
He was already married. She's notorious for becoming their housekeepers, correct?
Yes. So I think she went to work for Havel Bible
She did.
and decided to off his wife, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, we're talking
so that she could marry him. What year was that?
1923.
1923.
1923.
So she fell for Havel and then decided to poison his wife.
Yeah.
Okay, then the wife died, and she married Havel.
She does. Yeah, she married Havel.
And she was happily married to Havel for just a little bit, and then she kind of got tired of him.
I was going to say, it did, because I've got in my notes that 1923 his wife died, and then 1923 Havel dies.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't, they we't married very long.
No.
Because he must have been kind of getting on her nerves.
Yeah.
So what do you do when a man gets on your nerves?
Well, you poison him.
You poison him. So she poisoned poor Havel, too.
Where did she get the poison?
Yeah, I don't know, because back
Isn't
then
that
it was
interesting?
probably a lot more available. Like, they used it for
true.
different things, like cleaning, or it might have been if you went to the feed store for your
True.
horses or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
That's
wouldn't know
kind of
where to go
interesting.
buy poison today. But
I don't know where you would do it.
I don't know. So poor
But
Havel,
he didn't last very long.
No, he's listed as dying of pleuropneumonia, was what they called it. Yes, he was a little congested.
So then
when
we
he passed to.
we move on
So then she moved to Flora. She had
and
been living in Louisville with Havel.
Yep.
She moved to Flora after he died. And then we're going to fast forward a little bit to 1925, right?
Yes, we're going tonight, and we are married to Ernest Malinsky.
Okay. Well, yeah, she fell for Ernest Malinsky. So, but
by
sadly,
all-
he was married.
Yeah. Once again, we are the housekeeper.
Yeah. And what do you do when the man you're working for is just so dreamy that you?
Did you see pictures? Do we have pictures of any of them?
Sure, we do.
Because he was not dreamy.
Well, I don't know that we have a picture of him.
Okay,
Let's see what we have right here.
Okay.
That's
See, here's
just
the
her.
thing about Elsie
This is Elsie.
that kills me. She's not a looker.
No.
I mean, she's not exactly what I would call. Yeah, and what was that?
And
picture?
this is actually the best picture
It
I've
really
found
is.
of her. The others are even.
Yeah, she's
less.
not exactly like a. But she moves in with Ernest and Laura Mae Malinsky.
Yes. So
And we have been trying, gosh, Beth, we have been trying to find the home that this all happened in.
Yes.
We have our speculations, but we cannot nail that down, what home. And it may be gone.
Right.
We've talked about that several times.
So I do have a piece of land where he lived later, Malinsky. Okay,
Malinsky?
let's finish the story, though,
Okay.
before we get into that. So,
Before we start chasing rabbits.
So she fell in love with this Malinsky, Mr. Malinsky, but he was married. So she, again, poisoned the wife, who then lived for 5 days, probably in agony.
A
and
horrific death.
Her name was Laura Malinsky.
Yeah.
So Elsie murdered Laura. Laura died. Elsie swoops in and it's probably like to poor Mr. Malinsky. What's his first name? I forgot.
Ernest.
Ernest, yes. I'm so sorry. Let me
Let me comfort you, darling.
Yes, let me comfort you. So anyway, 6 weeks after Laura died, they got married. Again, what was his name? Ernest. But the crazy thing I think he loved
Elsie.
her. You think he loved Elsie?
I think that he absolutely loved her. And he was like, because she was like, he said in the articles that I read that she was like, when she was arrested, he was shocked. And they arrested him too.
Shocked. Oh, right.
They arrested him too because they thought he was part of it too.
Yes. But
and he was
again,
like,
we're jumping ahead a little bit.
Good mother and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I don't know that he really loved her as much as like he was in shock from Laura dying.
Well, that might be true.
And then like I don't know. So okay, so when Laura died, she was 53 years old. And the coroner called it ptomaine poisoning and cerebral hemorrhage. I don't know what ptomaine is, if they thought she just maybe took a little too much of something, but
I don't know.
So she died in September, but by December, okay, so she died in September. They got married, I think, in November, early November.
Yeah, it was
like she died
right
late
away.
September. They got married early November. And then by December, though, there were all these rumors going around town.
Right.
Even back then, Flora was a rumor mill.
Exactly.
Okay. So rumors are going around like, you might want to check into this because things aren't adding up. Like, it seems like everybody she's been with has suddenly died of poisoning.
Right.
Like, this is weird. And so with some urging, the officials decided to exhume the body of Laura Malinsky and do an autopsy.
Yeah.
Which they did.
They did.
And originally the autopsy said basically the same thing. They didn't really find anything. But then they sent her organs off to Chicago to a chemist who immediately tested them and sent back to Flora that there were high levels of arsenic in her organs.
Arsenic.
Yes. So it was obviously poison.
So by this time, it's March 7th is when they were both arrested,
Yes.
1926.
1926. They arrested both Ernest Malinsky and Elsie Bible Malinsky.
Yes.
And so...
And they, in my notes, I mean, it said that she was like a cold-hearted. That's why I don't think that she had that. I think she was just evil. She wanted what she wanted.
Yes.
And because they said whenever she was there, she was a cold-hearted snake the whole time. Everything that I read about it, she was just, boom, she was shut down. And,
yes.
Yep.
So in order to spare Ernest, Elsie,
absolutely,
she confessed.
See, I think she loved him. Otherwise, why would she confess to that?
Right. I think she was protecting him. And
I think she was too.
He really didn't have anything to do with it.
He didn't. He was innocent of it.
Yes.
And,
so she confessed to poisoning her, and they put her in jail. She was sentenced to life in prison. But at the trial... like he broke down and he just sobbed whenever
I think
he heard her confession.
Because
do you think that he cried because he loved Elsie, or do you think he cried because he loved Laura?
He probably cried because I brought this evil thing into my home.
Yeah.
See, because it was then that she confessed. See, she didn't get, I mean, they only got her on the Laura May. And then she confessed to the Bibles.
Yes. So she
actually offered that information up.
Yes. So she was sentenced to life in prison on a Tuesday afternoon. And Wednesday morning, she requested a meeting with the sheriff. At that time, I believe it was Sheriff Cogswell, something like that.
Yes.
And he met with her, and she just spilled it all.
Yeah.
She spilled the tea, and she told him she had also poisoned Havel Bible, and she had poisoned his wife. And then she'd also poisoned Laura. So she had poisoned 3 people. Yeah. And then there's also the rumor that she originally had tried to poison the first man that he survived, the first husband, William Cope. So, like, she really had a history of, you make that woman mad, she'll be after you with the arsenic.
When she wanted what she wanted. Yeah, that's why I think she was just pure evil.
I think she was.
And they said, like I said, and they said in that court, she was just, but she must have had a little bit of a heart, so she spared... Malinsky. She confessed to the. She didn't have to confess to the Bibles. No. But it's funny though. What was that one thing? The judge said that if she would have been a man,
if she wouldn't have been a woman, if she would have been a man,
if you would have been a man, I would have hung you.
Yes,
she would have been hung. She only got 20 years.
She only got 20 years, and they didn't even bother to try her on the other deaths. Like, I don't know if they just thought that was be a waste of time or what. But like these days, if that would have happened, she would have went back to court for each
Right.
each case.
Yeah.
And probably got another 20 years for Havel and another 20 years for his
yeah,
wife.
so she just got 20 years.
She just got 20.
And they probably didn't have life sentences. Of course, we're talking.
It said she was sentenced to life in prison, but
she only did 20.
She only did 20, I think, is the difference there.
Yeah, she got released on June 18th, 1950.
Okay, and then what did she
She moved to Sacramento, California to live next to her son, Floyd. She died September 23rd, 1980.
Wow, so
Elsie
she was
lived a long
alive
time.
at the same time as me.
Yeah.
She did. She lived a long life, and I would love to dig into what she did in her later life. Like what all went on in California.
It's kind of like the story just ends.
Yeah.
At that point.
Well, I mean, hopefully she got her life in order and
Yeah.
got her thoughts on straight and
repented a little bit.
Repented
Yeah.
and maybe,
Yeah, because she
started treating people better.
Yeah, that's why I thought it said she just went to live with her son Floyd. I wonder if Floyd slept with one eye open at night.
I don't know.
Did people take insurance policies out on each other back then?
I don't know.
I don't feel like I'm trying to think because I have this love affair, mad, passionate love with Lizzie Borden. I think the Lizzie Borden case is absolutely fascinating. I like serial killer. Me and my sister Linda Waller, we both love. Our dream vacation is to go to Salem, Massachusetts and stay at the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Well, you're going to go with me to Salem.
But
you don't want to stay at the Lizzie.
Scary. I don't know. It just
they say it's very haunted.
Yeah.
Be great. Well, Linda and I will stay. You have to be a member of the Lizzie Borden fan club.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not kidding.
I saw a thing on Facebook the other day, and it said, do not accept any friend request from Lizzie Borden's parents. They've been hacked.
Oh my gosh. I was taking you so that is
it's horrible.
That is horrible.
It's funny.
So funny. That's funny. Well, this
goodness.
might disturb you, but I am a member of the Lizzie Borden fan club on Facebook.
Why, though?
Because it's fascinating. She completely got away. But she had that sister, and I bet that sister was slept like this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably like Elsie Bible's son.
Floyd.
He'd be like, no, mother, I'll get my own glass of water.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mom, you cooking tonight? I'm going to McDonald's.
Yeah. Oh, golly gee.
But yeah, how interesting.
Yes.
Elsie Bible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating. But yeah, you can pick up that episode on Killer Women.
Yeah. Okay. So back to tracking down where this happened at in Florida. We don't know exactly where the residence was.
We'd love to know.
But I do know that Mr. Malinsky, Ernest, he went on to get remarried again after this whole Elsie Bible thing. And his next wife, her name was Laura, not Laura. It was Laura. And together, Ernest and Laura lived on West 5th Street, the 400 block. I think it was 433. I drove by there, and it's an empty lot.
Awesome.
There's not a home there.
That's interesting.
Probably, there used to be a beautiful old home there, I would guess. It's kind of back behind that little church on 3rd Street. There's but just 2 blocks north.
Cool. Let's talk about, we need to take a commercial break, friend, and then we will come right back with more Killer Women.
Okay.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Give me all your lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank. We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online bank, you just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be. Clay County State Bank.
Hey,
Right. We are
welcome back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I just, it's so funny, like whenever the next time that you like go to the courthouse for anything, whether it be pay your property taxes, these killers walk those steps.
That's something to think about.
It is something to think about. Every
Same
time you
steps.
walk into that, you know, Elsie Bible walked up those stairs.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty fascinating. All the people that's come and gone through our courthouse.
Oh, yeah. The
Which would-
depot. She's
the
probably been to the
She's
depot.
probably been to the depot. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oof.
Right, it does give
Okay.
you chills.
Yeah.
Well, another one that's from Clay County is Amy Campbell.
Yeah.
Amy Campbell.
Now she was crazy.
Now, Amy literally was, she heard voices and stuff.
her full name, yeah.
It's awesome.
You want to go for it?
I sure will, because I said it 1,000 times during the symphony. Amy Louisa Dyer Claude Latour Atkins Campbell. Amy was married 5 times. She was born in 1872 in Xenia. Claim to fame for Xenia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, her first husband she married in 1889. His name was Monessa Clark. And they married in Shelby County, and she had 1 son with him, and his name was William George Franklin Clark.
Okay.
That
They
was her
like
first
long
husband.
names.
That was well, he must have figured out that something was going on because he left her.
He left her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
She only killed 1 person, but they all get out pretty quick.
They got out pretty quick. Yes. So then he was gone, and then she married Latour.
Yes, and she married him 1896. She married William Latour, and he divorced her.
Divorce was very uncommon back then.
The beautiful thing about
hardly anybody
Amy-
got divorced, and you had to have a really good reason.
Oh, yeah.
And it couldn't just be like, I'm not feeling it anymore. I don't love her.
Right.
It's like you had to have a legit reason.
Yeah, and so she's been married in Shelby County now. She's been married to Clay County now. And then the third husband was John Atkins, 1898, and she got married in Marion County.
Okay.
So and guess what, guys? He left her too.
Well, shocker. Then he was probably like, oh, well, okay, now I understand like why these other men married you and then divorced you. Like, it's all very clear.
Well, it makes you wonder then in 1903, here comes William Campbell. And they moved back to Xenia. William Campbell was actually from Xenia.
Okay.
But in this time in 1903, Amy's son, he was grown and was married and had a child of their own. So now she only has 1 son with the very first husband.
Yes.
You know, it makes you wonder when old William came along if Bill didn't think, you know what, girl, you've been married, 3 or 4 other times, wonder why he didn't. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah,
but if she got married to different counties,
right?
I mean, they probably didn't track records and stuff, right?
Maybe she didn't even tell him that she had been divorced 3 times.
She may not have.
Because there wasn't, like, you could look it up. Like, today you just can find someone on the computer or, research them online. Today, like, back then, there was just take your word.
Yeah, well, Amy was one of those that, and they all lived together. So the son and the wife and the grandchild are all living with William and Amy.
Yes.
Well, Amy was a very jealous woman. Mm-hmm. So, of course, she's got her son living in here with his new young wife. Mm-hmm. Amy's getting
probably a pretty little thing.
And Amy's getting up there in age, and so she thinks that the voices in Amy's head.
Yes.
And she literally makes that comment. The voices in Amy's head are telling her that her husband is having an affair with her daughter-in-law.
Right.
Yeah. Do we have any pictures of Amy?
We do.
Let's show these pictures. Yeah, look at this picture.
They're
so
blurry, but this is Amy.
This is Amy Campbell, and these pictures. This is her first husband. This is the man she's pictured with. There is actually the first husband, and that is the Clark, and that's the one that they have the son with.
Okay.
And do they have? I mean, Amy has beautiful eyes. I bet they were sky blue.
I bet they were too.
Yeah, and the thing about Amy, but it almost looks like she has eyeliner on.
Yes. I'd say she was very beautiful.
I bet Amy Campbell, those are the 2 pictures I've only had of Amy, and I bet she was absolutely beautiful too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe that's how she got so much interest from the men that wanted to marry her.
It may have been.
She's beautiful. I don't care if she's a little crazy.
Well,
she's beautiful.
Yeah, so she went on a murderous spree one night, and she shot William in the chest.
With a shotgun.
Pow. Pow, pow, pow. But then...
she didn't stop there.
She did not stop there. Nope, she pulled a Lizzie Borden.
She did.
She did. She took an axe and whacked him 3 times in the head.
She did.
She absolutely did.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so poor William died a terrible death.
Yeah.
And then...
hopefully he was dead.
I hope the shotgun just took him out instantly. I hope. I don't know why she felt compelled to continue with the axe.
Well, and then...
but the voices probably told her to do that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure
so
they
then
did.
Apparently the sound of the shotgun or something, it kind of roused the neighbors.
Yeah.
So she ran and she hid the axe in an outbuilding?
An outbuilding, yep.
And it had, covered in blood, covered in hair.
And then she ran to the woods.
And then she ran in the woods. Mm-hmm. Where did she think she was going to go?
I don't know. But she was caught.
Yes.
Right then and there.
And the neighbors were like, what's happened? What's going on? And she...
it makes you wonder, though, where the son of the daughter was, because the daughter-in-law is really... And it doesn't mention... I never did find...
Yeah, I don't know where they were at during
her
the
son.
time.
Her son's Floyd, right?
No, that was...
William. Yeah. Her son is William George Franklin Clark. So his name was William. And... I never did find out what the wife's name was, or if the grandchild was a boy or a girl. But that girl, boy, she probably escaped death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she probably did, because she blamed her for the cheating that wasn't even actually happening.
Did not happen. Yeah,
she could have been at risk too.
Yeah.
So they found her.
They
in the
found
woods.
her. Yeah. Yeah. And she was arrested immediately, and she was sentenced to 20 years.
Yes, and they sent her originally to prison. She was sent to the penitentiary.
Yeah.
But
Peoria. She was it Peoria? What penitentiary was she in?
Joliet.
Joliet. Yes.
But that did not last long.
No.
Because this woman seriously was crazy.
She was.
So for unknown reasons that I couldn't find in my research, they switched her from the Joliet prison to the mental hospital.
Yeah.
Which is where she lived out her days, I believe, and she died there.
Yeah, she absolutely did.
This is a picture of the actual asylum that she was in. Yes.
Yeah, she was the Peoria Mental Hospital. Okay. She was there till 1942, and she died at the age of 67.
Okay.
So she lived till 1942, and she's buried at the Illinois Veterans Cemetery in Montino.
Okay. Let's look at this picture for a moment, though. Can you imagine, first of all, working there with all of these people that probably have committed big-time felonies, and they're crazy today? There's medication to help with that, and our mental health system, although not perfect, is still so much better than it was then.
Oh well, my goodness! Think about what they tortured people.
Oh yeah,
back then. It's terrifying.
Electrotherapy.
Oh,
and
what's that? Where they did that? Where they probe you or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know.
Lobotomy.
Gosh, horrible.
Oh, I can't even imagine what
they did that to one of the Kennedys.
Rose Kennedy, the one that was mentally handicapped.
Yes,
they
thought they would fix her, and they did that, and they just pretty much destroyed her. Yeah. What a life.
Oh yeah, if you ever do any research on 1800s, 1900s mental health homes, oh boy,
sad.
She would have been better off probably staying in jail.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, man, what they did to her. Stick people in freezing cold ice water for
horrible.
No, but Amy,
yeah.
See, I know.
I'd like to think if it was today and that happened, that she would be able to get treatment before she ever even got herself into such a situation as to killing someone.
Yeah, because anytime you get she heard voices, and every information that I found in my readings and stuff, she was like, oh, the voices said, so it makes you wonder, those other 300 husbands prior had to have just recognized it. But then back then you would just you would just leave the woman, you'd walk out, and you'd be done. So those are two. But I think there's definitely a difference between Amy and Elsie.
I agree.
Totally different.
Yes.
Amy
Because I think Elsie, all of that was completely premeditated. I mean, there's no question about that. She planned it.
Yeah.
And she did a really good job of planning exactly what she was doing and who she was going to take out and when.
Yeah.
And what her moves were after. I mean, she was calculating.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then there's Amy on the other hand, and she did, but I think she just did it in a fit of jealous rage.
I think so too. I think she just had got it in her head that that her husband was stepping out on her, and she was gonna take him down.
Yeah, and she did.
Boy, I think that girl was lucky.
And where's she buried? Not here.
Montino.
Montino.
The hospital where she's at actually has a cemetery.
Oh,
which would be. That might be worth the trip.
One creepy cemetery. I bet.
I wouldn't want to get left in that one, but boy, I'll tell you what. I bet that would be. I wonder if that hospital's still standing.
I don't know.
Montino Mental.
I don't know. That's something we could look into.
Because it's actually called the Peoria Mental Hospital.
They probably are. It's probably still there, and they probably just open it at Halloween. A lot
because
of those old places give ghost tours.
It's an Illinois Veterans Cemetery in Montino is where she's at. But when I portrayed her at the cemetery, she was buried on that property, which is really.
And do we know whatever happened to her son?
No. It's once again it seems like it's cold case.
Yeah.
It's like once we find out what these people had done, it's like we never knew whatever happened in Elsie's life in California. Did she get away? Did she marry again? Did she do it again? Did she just, when she went to California, it's different than being in Clay County.
She just turned over a new leaf.
Did she just turn over a new leaf? Did she do it, get away with it more? Who knows? We know what happened to Amy. Amy was literally arrested that night, walked up those courthouse steps. Once again, the next time you go into the courthouse, when you walk up those stairs, there are a lot of people come and go through that place. A lot of murderers. Yeah. You're walking where Elsie and Amy walked.
Yeah.
They were tried both up at Louisville at the courthouse.
Yeah. And I wondered, did a lot of people turn out for those trials? Do you think there was a large attendance, or what do you think happened?
I bet there was. It seems like in a lot of the old pictures that we're finding, don't you find that there's people congregating everywhere?
Yes.
I do feel like
people were outside and more involved in their communities.
And they were walking around downtown, and it's fascinating.
Yeah, because that's how news was carried. That's how you got your news, was talking to each other. Yeah. So you couldn't go inside and check to see what happened on Facebook. So
so you would have had to. I bet they were everywhere. But when did they? Who was the first woman that was ever executed? I can't remember that story off the top of your head. I remember like the very first woman executed, but I can't remember.
In Clay County, you mean, or
in general? In general, when did they start executing women?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's time for our next commercial break.
Yeah. Well, my goodness.
Yes.
We are right at knocking on 15 seconds away.
Yes.
What can we say in 15 seconds?
I don't know. How about this? We'll just be right back after these messages.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
Clay County Hospital is your life-saving connection. We have spent our lives preparing for when you need us. Quality professional care right at home. Our team will support you and your family so you never feel alone. We will make you feel welcome whether you need care, are visiting a loved one, or seeking employment. Clay County Hospital. Professional care, compassionate hearts.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Okay, welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth.
I'm Stacey.
So today we've been talking about some serial killers and or one serial killer and one murderess, I guess.
Yes.
And now we're going to talk about a murderer. Ooh. This one is a male.
Yeah,
and
I'm excited now, guys. Beth is pulling a fast one right now. I don't even know what his name is. I don't know anything about him. So you're going to see my reaction from the beginning.
Okay, so
I'm so excited.
I actually found this story when I was researching Amy, and it came across, and it was kind of a short little article, but it caught my eye, and I read it, and I was like, holy cow, this one happened all the way back in 1888.
Ooh, 1888. Yeah.
So
what county, what town?
Well, okay, so it was just south of Xenia, but it was actually at the Wayne County line.
Okay.
So I'm picturing it down that Orchardville Road. You know, you go south out of Xenia, and you're headed towards Orchardville. I think probably right along there somewhere. And this was a man named Lee Darth. Okay.
Darth.
As in Darth Vader.
As in Vader. Okay. Yes. Lee Darth.
Yes, that was his name. And he and his wife had a quarrel. It said, and he was very upset with her. It was over some property. She was upset with him. She decided to go stay the night at the neighbors.
Oh.
Okay. So she left and went to the neighbors, and I guess apparently had to get away from him because he was angry.
Huh.
Okay. So the next day, she's with her sister, and they are walking along the high road. Okay. So I think high road just meant main road.
Okay.
Okay. So they're walking along the road. And Lee had been laying there along the road knowing that she would go by, waiting for her. He springs up.
No way.
Yes, he does. Out of the grassy
The
area
ditch
here.
or something?
The ditch, I guess. Springs up, grabs her by the hair, yanks her hair back like this, puts his knee in her back, so she's just like at his mercy. And then he takes a very large butcher knife and he just whacks her head off.
Oh, my land. Over some land?
Yeah, which I don't even know. I mean, she wouldn't have been able to own property in 1888, but it was about property, and they'd had a quarrel.
Wow.
And this is how he reacted. The sister runs away and goes like across the street and is trying to get away from him, and he shakes his bloody knife at her. And then he turns around and he runs off. Okay? So poor little wife here, whose actual name is not even mentioned in the article.
Wow.
Back then, women were just called Mrs. Mrs. Darth. Her head, he cut her head off nearly. Just makes me think of Harry Potter, nearly headless Nick.
Exactly.
But anyway, I guess it was still somewhat attached. But he practically beheaded her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right there along the main road south of Xenia. So next time you're leaving Xenia and you're headed to Orchardville, you can think about Mrs. Darth in 1888, and she was just taken out by her husband just so quick.
I wonder what happened to him.
Well, no one ever saw him again.
Get out of town.
Yes. So he ran away, and it is mentioned that they never no account of being caught.
Really?
And I can dig into that further, or you, my listener, could dig into that further and see if you can find out exactly what happened to Mr. Darth. But from what I have researched, he doesn't show up again. And there is no more Mr. Darth. And I couldn't find a single thing about a trial, nothing, because he disappeared, man. That dude, he left, he went to Mexico.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know where he went, but he was gone. And then
that's violent.
It was violent.
That's violent.
And she probably knew that he was a violent man, and that's why she left the night before. And you think about that way back in 1888, like this poor girl, she needed an order of protection. She needed someone to protect her.
I'm telling you what, girls, we're lucky that we live in the time that we live in, because the world wasn't very friendly to women.
No, and the poor sister that saw it all, and then she had to live with that.
My God. Did they wonder what was the age of these people? Do they have children? Did you come across that?
I think they were in their 20s. I gathered that from something it said, but I don't know that for sure.
It must have been for him to be laying there in the ditch or wherever in the grassy fields or whatever. He had to have known. She must have taken this path. It must have been just a path that they would have taken every day.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she was headed to get water for the day. Maybe she was walking to town, you know. But he knew right where she was going to be, and he lay in wait for her.
Wow.
And then did that right in front of her sister.
That takes some pretty good strength too.
Yeah, very sad.
I don't. That name doesn't even ring a bell in our area. Darn.
I don't know. I mean, he left and he didn't have children here, so maybe he could have been maybe not an immigrant, but like, you know, someone from another county that just lived here for a short time. Yeah. But I don't know of any other Darths, and it would be interesting to go through cemeteries in that area to see if there are any Darths. You know, because that would be out there near the cemetery that Indian Lydia is buried at.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah,
it would be very close to that.
That would be an interesting walk through. I've only been to that cemetery once, but that would be a really neat.
Yeah, so Indian Lydia, for those in our listening area that don't know who Lydia is, because we're talking as if everyone already knows her.
Sure.
We should do a whole episode on her.
And I think we will, because she's pretty fascinating.
She is, but she was an Indian woman that lived here, along with, she lived in another household, the Henson household.
Yes.
And she lived with them for years, and then one day she just walked into the room and said, "I die now."
Yeah.
And she died.
And she died.
They didn't even know she was sick.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a cemetery in northern Wayne County near the Clay County line where she's buried, and people go there to visit her grave. And
they do.
And they always leave a token. You know, if you go there, it's said that you have to leave her something. So her gravestone is covered with pennies and hair bands and
everything,
tabs from beer cans.
It is interesting.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a story that we want to dive into. I don't even think I realized it till one Halloween, and some kids were at the house trick-or-treating. They're like, "Oh, we're going to go down to Indian Lydia's." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then I kind of started hearing about it.
Yeah, and the Henson Cemetery, which is the name of the cemetery she's buried at, they have a beautiful monument there that probably cost a fortune that tells the whole story of her and how she came to be here and how she ended up living with the Henson family. And it is an old cemetery, and it's a little creepy.
Well, I was only there one time because people were like, "Oh, Orchardville was having that haunted house through the old school or whatever down there," and so they're like, "Let's go to Indian Lydia's grave." And I am not one to like go. I'm okay with cemetery tour stuff, you know, because it's all. But I am not one to go like in graveyards at night and just ponder around.
Yeah,
I believe in a serious spirit world, and I don't believe in conjuring up anybody I don't want to take home with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all the way home, I'm like driving.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to go to Lizzie Borden's house or whatever.
That's different. Lizzie's cool.
Oh, okay. I don't know, but anyway, that's the story of Lee Darth.
Wow, fascinating.
Yes. Yeah.
That is fascinating.
Yeah. It is, and you know, and here's another one. I'll just real short tell you about this one because it's not enough to make an episode out of. But there was another guy. I didn't even write down his name, but it was around the same time, early 1900s, I think, at Xenia, and he was jealous of his wife. He always thought she had other men, and she didn't, and they only had one son. What is it with these people? They only have one son. But anyway, he drove, and they'd just gotten out of church, but he hadn't been with them. And he came up on the church, and he saw his wife outside talking to a man. And he pulled up there, and he shot her.
Wow.
And then he turned the man over and found out that the man that he thought she was cheating with was his son. He had shot him. Actually, he shot them both. He killed the wife. He killed his son. And then he flipped the man over, expecting it to be some guy from church.
And it was his son.
And it was his own son. Because he'd done that out of just a jealous moment. Like, how dare you talk to another man? I'm going to kill you both. Yeah. And it was his son. I mean, can you imagine?
No.
So then you know what he did next?
Did he shoot himself?
He did. He shot himself.
Yeah.
And that all happened either in Xenia or just south of Xenia, too. Yeah, I don't remember that guy's name, but... you know, you just start pulling out history stuff, and these stories just pop out at you, and you're like, oh, it's heartbreaking.
Well, it is, and I don't know, but Yeah, it's just hard to believe. And we're just finding things right we're just touching the surface.
Oh, yeah.
We are just barely touching the surface. And as we started doing, by the way, the show, it's just like I had a doctor's appointment and then I was coming down Blue Mound and I'm like, I'm just going to drive through Reiner just to see, Reiner's got a good history. And now I find myself, I was on 161. I love 161.
I do too.
I love to drive it. I love it to drive it in the fall. I think
beautiful.
It's a beautiful road. And I'm like, I find myself now, oh my gosh, there's an old house right there. Where would that? I don't remember that house. Now I'm finding, before I was looking for structures, because I love homes. We both love homes, and I'm nosy, and I want to see the structures of homes and stuff. Now I'm noticing houses and barns that are falling down.
Oh,
my
they're
mindset
everywhere.
is a totally different place. Yeah.
The barns. It's so sad to see them all go.
Yeah. And you know what else I'm recognizing? More outhouses.
Oh, yeah?
Original outhouses.
You're seeing those?
I am seeing those.
I haven't paid attention to those.
Yeah, I'm starting to pay more attention to that type of stuff. And there was a house like on 161, and it's kind of like all these trees are growing up, and it's this beautiful house. It sits really close to the road, and it was just looked over there. It's like, why am I not? Probably because there's probably a hill coming. I'm paying attention to
You're
the road.
probably paying attention to the road.
But I just happened to glance over there, and there was this house, beautiful, like Cape Cod, like house just falling down around. I was like, wow, what's the history there?
Right.
Yeah,
old homes are just hard to maintain. I mean,
are.
It's expensive for people to do it, and I think that when they inherit one, they don't always have the finances to keep up with it.
Yeah,
which is sad, and a lot of people just don't care.
Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with it. It's just.
I'm on a Facebook page about old homes. It's called our Old Homes, I think, and it's people post incredible pictures of their homes, but then they also take pictures of their old home when they bought it, and how someone had made it all like 1995 and tore out all of the little things, and they're like sick about it.
That happened to a house on Vincennes in Florida, beautiful Victorian, and I was cutting the lady's hair that lived there. Her and her family lived there. I said, "You've got to let me go in that house." She said, "You don't want to because my dad modernized it in the 70s."
Actually, I know who you're talking about. It was Penny Denson's house. It was not her dad that modernized it. It was the guy that bought it right before them. When they moved there in the 60s, the guy that owned it before had just finished.
She said
they took out the original staircase and everything.
And it had like 9 marble fireplaces, and he took them all out. And that land goes back really, really far. There's
there's a woods there. There's like 3 or 4 acres.
Like Emory Street runs north and south, and Austin runs north and south, and there's houses there. But then this home goes all the way down to the trailer park till you get past that church, Emory Street Church. And Penny said you could walk back there and you'll find, because he just busted up all that marble, and you can still, there's when her dad would mow, there's still marble pieces you can find. That beautiful statues. I guess it was grand.
Oh, I'm sure it was grand.
And the original. Now some people are living there now, and they are trying to.
Yeah, they've done a great job. It looks
but once
fantastic.
those marble fireplaces are gone, they're gone.
I know. So sad. We ought to research who the man was that did that to that house, and then we'll just drag him through the mud. Just kidding. He might still live here. He's watching the show right now and being like,
so that Beth's point brings us to our
rules to live by.
Live life and love.
Oh, okay.
Unless you rip out marble fireplaces.
I choose to love people even if they rip out marble fireplaces.
A little bit.
A little bit. I might kind of give them a hard time on air.
Live life and love. Live life. I feel like I live life every day. I love life.
I do. I love my life too. And
I love
live
my life.
And I'm always on the go. And everyone's like, gosh, like, why do you do so much? I'm like,
I like it.
I only live once.
You only live once.
That's right.
Yeah, I believe in that too. And I have a good time. People are like, is there anything you change? No, because if I would have changed my path along the way, I may not be where I'm at now. And I love my life.
Yeah.
I love my work. I love my husband. I love my children. I'm mad crazy about my grandchildren.
You are, yes, because they're lovely. They're perfect.
They are perfect.
They really are pretty awesome kids.
Yeah. Who knows? I might bring my little man on the show someday.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Well, wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, my goodness. Our first guest could be 3 years old.
Jack Earlywine, yes.
So.
Yeah, they are precious. But
anyway, well,
that's our show for
that's
today.
our show. So I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you for joining us on By the Way with Beth and Stacey. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, God bless you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.